Welcome to Grim Dark Gains, a now weekly podcast where we help you ascend from an acolyte into an inquisitor. Today we're going to answer what are the best supplements you should take, part two. But before we dive into today's topic, we'll chat about our life, lifting, and hobby. Hello, Eli. How are you
Hello,
doing today?
Alex. I'm doing very good. How are you doing?
Very good. I like your shirt. Actually, I love your
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah, I like your shirt too.
Phenomenal.
It looks very looks very comfortable and well made, and there's a
Yeah,
cool
it's such
logo
a
on it.
good fabric.
It
It's actually very soft and pleasant to be in.
looks
Don't
like
feel too
a
hot when
yeah,
you're
it
sweating it.
looks like
Yeah,
you could really wear it to the
definitely.
gym, and yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah,
There we go. Very nice. Well, I'll show off the back. You tell me if you can see it.
yeah. In the
Yeah.
grim darkness of the far future, there are only gains. Merch coming out soon.
Coming
Uh,
out soon. Don't have a date yet, but everything is set in motion to release it. I'm actually really excited. So whenever we do release the merch, for I think the first 50 orders, we'll be able to add free stickers into it. And I actually
very
haven't
nice.
showed you the stickers yet because I haven't ordered
Mm-hmm.
them, but I designed them. So I'll show them to you,
Ah,
and I'm pretty excited. I think they look pretty cool.
nice. Uh,
Yeah.
we're ordering about 100 shirts, I think. Is that correct?
Yes.
So they will
Yes.
be
100 shirts.
limited stock. If you're new to the podcast, the channel is pretty small, but we do have quite large followings on Instagram and stuff. So they will probably go. So definitely,
Yeah.
when it
Stay tuned
happens,
for
we'll let you know.
that. Very good. Very good. All right. So, how about your life,
Yeah,
Eli? How was the progress on the house?
it's good. Good. We are
Yeah.
pretty much all set to move in on July 24th.
Very
Yep.
good. Very good. Are you
Uh,
excited?
yeah, I am excited. It should be nice. And we have some roommates, so it'll be affordable. So,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm the next big project for my house is I gotta work on my gym room.
Mm-hmm.
So for a while I had my parents move in with me
Mm-hmm.
because they sold their house and they were also buying their house. So for a few months they lived with me.
Yeah.
So they lived in my garage, which is sounds bad, but they actually made it very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they laid down a carpet in there. So I
Nice.
need to, and it used to be my home gym.
Ah,
So I need to, rip out the carpet, rid of everything, clean it up. And there's going to be an opportunity for me to hopefully level up my home gym. I want to
yeah.
fill in some of the cracks in the garage. I want to paint it all black, very aesthetic. I have a
Mm,
big mirror I can put in there,
nice.
and then put some of like I have a half rack, a bench, obviously barbell, plates, adjustable
Mm,
dumbbells, heavier dumbbells. And then maybe in the future add some stuff.
yeah. Very nice.
We're
Very
excited.
nice. That's epic. Not much hobbying for either of us this week.
Yeah,
It
it's really
looks like,
sad.
unfortunately.
We're really slacking.
That's how it is sometimes. We did do some stuff, obviously.
Mhm.
Let me see here. You purchased some things.
Yeah, so last week was my birthday, and I decided
Ah,
to
happy
treat myself.
birthday.
Thank you, thank you. Decided to treat myself. I'm 28 now, 28. You are
Ah,
what, 25,
25.
right? 25, right? A young buck. I
Uh,
hate when people do that. Like, you're 2, 3 years older than me, and they tell me, like, you don't know anything. And I'm like, okay, you know it
uh,
all.
uh,
So, anyway, I went to a hobby store. I gave myself $100 budget to
nice.
buy a few things. I actually went over it a little bit because I bought some things online as well, because my hobby store didn't have it.
Mm,
Is a rust paint. Always going to give a shout out to what they're called. I have some of there are other paints. The Dirty Down rust paints, the
mm-hmm,
best rust paints.
mm-hmm.
I've tried a few rust paints. I have a few other rust paints. Literally the best. Not the yellow.
Nice.
The yellow rust is not great, but their classic rust,
Mm-hmm.
it's so good.
Hmm,
You shake it, you put it on, like, and it oxidizes in a way that some parts are deep dark brown, some parts are like light brown, and
uh,
some part are like bright orange.
nice.
So it's chef's
Very
kiss. It's
nice.
perfect. So I ordered some of that online,
Hmm.
but then everything else I got from the store. My favorite, not flocking, but what do you call it?
Uh, I assume it's just acrylic diorama stuff.
Yeah, yeah, diorama stuff. I actually have a smaller container of it, but that's the stuff I use on almost every model. It's
Mm,
easy to put down, it dries fast. You could put it down a few hours later, you can prime it. So it's my favorite material for basing.
mm-hmm.
And then just some random paints I was out of. And then most, no, most cool thing of all is on the next picture there. I did buy a few old Hammer or old school knees.
Yeah.
You will love this one. These three vampire counts, standard bearers for different units, and a couple of them you can actually definitely use as your BSB for an old
Mm-hmm.
world army, is a kit from 1994.
Dang, awesome.
So 3 years before
Very cool.
I was born, which is
Very
really
cool.
cool. Very classic kits, and I'm not sure if I mentioned that I am working on a smaller 1,000 point vampire counts army.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
randomly picking, I have some other models I picked up in the past here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with the old metal like Green Reapers, and so I've been picking up random minis
Mm-hmm.
to add to the army.
Cool. Very cool.
Yes, sir. Well, my models are falling down. This is good quality content right now. So yeah, that's been my hobby. Not really much. I was actually trying to think of like, do I have enough time to like paint a model or paint a unit? Yes, before the podcast, but
Crazy.
I decided to sleep instead.
Yeah, respectable.
How about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, well, speaking of old world, I have your influence is finally rubbing off on me. It's seeping into my brain. I spent a lot of my rest times at the gym last week making old world lists, which is a
Good.
classic rest time thing to do.
Absolutely.
And I've made a few vampire counts and a couple dark elf ones,
Oh, cool.
and yep. So I'm excited about that. My friend who actually knows how to play it can't play with me until next month, so I'll have to wait for a little bit. But he's gonna teach me the new rules and
Dang.
stuff, so that'll be
Next month.
nice. Yeah, and then my other
That's
friend,
exciting.
I'm sucking into this because he's always wanted to play, so he'll
Good.
probably get into it, especially because it's like the starter boxes are such good value. Although that being said, he'll play Empire, which I know you said sucks, but we won't play competitively. The Empire
Yeah.
box is seemingly a lot less value than the other ones. Um,
Yeah, because there's a steam tank in there and troops, which neither are
yeah,
competitive,
and well,
but they're
that and
cool.
also with like it was a lot harder for me to get those to 1,000 points than it was the other. Like I could get the Wood Elf box to like 1250 points or something, but the
Yeah.
Empire box was only like 900 something when I put it in to the army builder. Oh, that's without like a bunch of fancy upgrades to all the troops, but still, I don't know. Regardless, we have guys in China who make recasts, and we will just buy from them. To be honest.
I mean, you can do that if you want GW look, or you can
Mm,
just like for Empire, just find a
yeah,
medieval like I don't know, War of the Roses style,
mm,
or just medieval England or
yeah,
Germany
yeah.
units.
True.
Fine.
Yeah.
So
So it should be doable. Regardless, even if like if he bought the starter kit and then the rest from China, the army would be like $400 or less.
yeah,
And then if he buys
yes,
everything just from China, it'll be like $200. So either way, like it's seemingly a very affordable game, which is cool. So
yeah.
yeah,
Which is why everybody's playing it. Like it
yeah,
doesn't cost you $1,000 to start an army.
yeah,
Like it literally under $500, even with GW like
yeah,
original
yeah.
prices. Because and I think I mentioned before, because kit bashing is so heavily encouraged, you don't
Mm,
have to buy a $40 hero. You can, but you could also take your $2 model from a
mm,
unit and just kit bash it and make it, oh, it's an engineer. He
yeah.
has this, cool gun and a pigeon on his,
Yep.
like that
Yep.
works. Right.
Yeah. And especially with the vampires, I was finding you can make very expensive hero models so that you don't need that much
So
stuff. I
so
fall
like
into that
literally,
trap very easily of making my heroes very cool, and then I lose because I have no troops. But
who cares?
whatever,
Who cares?
the vampires are balling out, so it was cool. But yeah, I made a Vlad and Isabella list, where
Nice.
Vlad's running around with Blood Knights and Isabella's flying around on a dragon, and then I made my Heinrich and
That's
Krell
dope.
list, which I sent to you, and you said, "Yeah, it's fine. It'll be good. It's not good competitively, but it's good casually," which
You made a very fun, balanced list, right?
that's what armies are supposed to be. That should be
Yeah, I think
competitive.
so if you bring vampire counts without a dragon right now, I think you just don't win many
Yeah,
games,
it's
right?
but like a dragon without a vampire lord is not doesn't count.
No, because they're super squishy. They have I think they have
What?
maybe a 6 up save. They're tough, but they have no armor and like a 6 up
Uh,
ward, I think. So they are, I mean, a couple lucky
dang.
shots with artillery, or a couple lucky shot with artillery, and then
Mm,
some magic,
yeah,
and you kind of
tragic.
get out of it.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe if I'm really lucky, when the book comes out for them, if it ever does, we'll get the Mourngold back because I have a Mourngold model.
Okay.
And it was awesome back in the day because it's a monster with ethereal, so it was like impossible to kill. But it's obviously not in the army right now because it's Forge World, but we'll see. But
For
yeah,
sure.
and then Dark Elves, I made a Malice Darkblade, like a Malice's Expedition, and then a Lokir Felheart fleet list. Yeah,
Nice.
should be cool when I finally get to playing.
That's awesome. It's going to be an old world podcast.
Yeah,
Old world and
yeah.
tennis. That's it.
Yep. Uh,
That's really
in other news, not much hobbying like you. I was pretty busy last week. I built some. We're playing a game with my brother-in-law because it's his birthday next week, and I was originally gonna play Necrons because I want to bring my big Titan thing, but it's not painted, and my brother-in-law like can't stand unpainted things. So
sure.
and my other friend Miller plays Tau or Thousand Suns, but he's probably going to bring Thousand Suns. And I decided it makes no sense for the Necrons to work with the Thousand Suns, so I pulled out my old Tau stuff because I haven't done that in forever, and I thought maybe he might even play Tau, and then it'd be cool. But yeah, and I pulled out some models that I haven't built yet. So I built Aunshi, just an ethereal with a blade. He's a really cool character, and
Right.
Shazo Relay, something like that, and so yeah, I'm pretty happy. Anshi is a legit model. I bought him at the store like
It looks
a
like it.
few
Has to
months
be.
ago. A classic old metal model, and then Relay is from China because he's a Forge World model. So
I just realized that we will literally never get sponsored by GW on this podcast. You
nope,
keep bringing
nope,
up Chinese
nope.
recasts.
We need a Chinese flag, and we need the Chinese recast sponsor. That's yep, China number one. So yeah, I've
Hilarious.
I've got my Tau stuff out, and I've made a list, so I might actually bring that on Saturday on the weekend, Sunday, whenever it is, which would be cool. I
Nice.
haven't played my Tau in forever. The army lists, like the rules look okay. I don't know.
Weekly 10th edition.
Yeah. That my brother-in-law only knows 10th and ninth and 10th
Sure.
edition, and he only wants to play 10th, which is fine. I've tried to get him to play the old stuff lots of times, but he just won't do it. It's fine. Uh, I'll fulfill
It's
my social
hard.
contract of playing
It's
10th
hard.
edition once a year. Yeah, it
I,
is hard as a new player to like. Why would I go play the old editions? Like that's just a ton
yeah.
of learning and stuff, and I already know how to do this. And
And
yeah,
especially knowing that especially if something exists that's currently supported, right?
yeah,
Like, no, they're not gonna fix or they're not gonna add anything to that edition. There's not gonna be
yeah,
any new units, nothing.
yeah,
So, and the story is stuck in that storyline
yeah.
too.
And he also plays like he has a lot of Primaris stuff, which you wouldn't
Right,
really be able to use.
right,
You can
right.
proxy like you can just use the Primaris Marines as regular Marines, but then a lot of their vehicles don't really like they wouldn't really fit as anything. And then I don't know. And he
Yeah.
has Custodes, which weren't really quite as supported back then, which is
Mm,
good. And the Custodes should not be supported. The Custodes should not be an
yeah.
army. I'll say it again and again and again. But yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's
fine.
fair,
Hmm?
fair.
Yeah.
It's fair that they should not be an army, right?
Yeah, there should be three dudes, and then it would be no fun to play against them.
Right. I think maybe as a kill team they kind of make sense. Do they have a Custodes kill team?
I don't know. Probably. I wouldn't. I
Yeah,
mean,
no idea.
I mean, to be fair, what kill team is gonna beat the Custodes kill team though? Is what I'm thinking.
The kill team in reality makes no sense. Like you have five Space Marines against
That's 10
10
cultists. Yeah, it really
Creed
does make no
Guardsmen.
sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is goofy. You're right.
it's
Yep.
fine.
And then,
Um,
lastly, for news, I guess the new and the last book for Lord of the Rings is out. It's
yes.
the Legends, the Legacy book, which is
Oh,
hype.
okay, I did not know that. Okay, cool.
It's so hilarious. The Legacy book was unsurprisingly, as I predicted, the best book and the thing that actually made the edition interesting and got me back
Really?
into it. Yeah, it has the character that I've been wanting to play, the Golden King of Abrakan. He's a Far Harad guy. He sucked last edition. It was one of the worst models in the game last edition. But they actually buffed him, which I did not expect, and now he's cracked and he's crazy OP.
So,
So he'll be
okay.
balling out. You
Yeah.
maybe have seen him before. He's like this guy riding on a palanquin. Two dudes are carrying him. Uh, Back in the day, he was just like a banner and it was fine. But he didn't really have any fighting ability, and his like special rule is that he can use his will points to reduce somebody else's courage check.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
awesome, but it's only good once the enemy army is broken, or if you're making them do courage checks. And then sometimes the enemy hero just rolls like a 12, and you can't
Sure.
you spin your will anyways. But he has 6 will, and like it's a good ability, but he's 130 points, so he's kind of bad as for 130 points just to like be a banner, and then once the enemy breaks, he might have someone run away.
Well, is he
But
pretty good in combat? Should you roam in combat too?
no, he's not good in
Uh,
combat. He's defense 4, fight. He was defense 4, fight 4, strength 4. He had a lot of attacks, but yeah, he was only fight 4 and no strike or anything, so not much to do. But now he's fight 5, and he has strike, and he has this new ability where if you're in a duel with him and you win the duel, he can spend a will point to like bribe you, and you can't make any strikes against him. And he has 6 will and 4 wounds and 2 fate, so he's basically unkillable.
oh, he's not gonna die. He's not gonna
Yeah,
die.
so he's just
That's
he's a banner that just stays alive forever. You can just charge him into
good.
Azog or something, and then pay off
Yeah, he's strong
Azog
in
for an
combat.
entire game, and then yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty
Also, he
awesome.
can end something for the whole game basically,
Yeah,
and then and that's pretty awesome. I like that a lot.
yeah. So he's very good
Cool.
now, I think.
Yeah. And you might
Aside
get a
from
lucky
that,
roll.
yeah,
Win some
yeah,
combat.
exactly, yeah. Aside from that, we got Mahood back, which are like the camel guys. They're really cool, so I'm glad that they're back. That's fine. We got Khand back, which are chariots, like Mongolian inspired stuff.
That's
And
cool.
Grand Army of the South has like all of these things in it. So Grand Army of the South list now has like 6 armies that you can bring within it, which is pretty cool. So I've made a lot of lists. I'm actually excited. They also have Woses back. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember what Woses are, but the Wildmen of Druidine or something, Druidin. Um, it's this army. Well, they're not an army anymore. You have to bring them with Rohan stuff, which is not the best, but it's fine. You can still bring a lot of them. In the old edition, it was just Woses, and then there was one character, Gon Baragon, and then you used Woses as captains, so you could just have this army of one model, and they all have poison blowpipes, and they're
Okay.
like 9 points each or less, I think. So
It's
you
not
could
bad.
bring like 70 or 80 guys at 800 points,
Poisoned,
all
yeah.
with 12-inch blowpipes that are poisoned, um, and stalk unseen and move through cover,
Hmm.
and hatred orc and goblin. They're pretty good.
Okay.
They're back now as well. That's in the new or the just like Armies of Middle Earth book. That's pretty hype. You have to bring Rohan with them. Just have to bring Theoden technically, but their army rules give them bonuses for the horses, and it's a pretty cool list. So I can bring my Woses back. I'm really glad because I played those in a tournament a while ago. I ordered 100 of them from Loader Bay, another recast website, and they didn't show up on time. So I had to get my friend to print me off like 100 models for this
Oh
tournament.
no.
And then the new edition came around, and they were not an army anymore. So I had to just leave those. And then the 100 guys showed up, so I just had to put them in a box and leave them. But now I can actually use them again. I can't use all 100 most of the time, but I can still bring
Wait,
out
do you have
like
200 of them then?
yeah, pretty much. But 100 of them are just like dumb prints that are just goofy that
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
which
But
I didn't
you
spend
can
a
make
lot
a
on.
200 point list.
Yeah. I could do a
Hilarious.
200 dude list, and yeah. So that's pretty much the hobby stuff. I've been going through my very large pile of shame. I had to clean up the house the other day because the landlord here is doing showings to replace us, and I got all my China recast stuff together and put it in a bag, and it's like a bag that's this big, like like, and it's completely
That's
full.
very good.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm getting through that.
I love that. I
Mm,
love that.
mm.
Pile of shame is real.
Yeah,
Very
it's
real.
very real. And when you can buy Chinese recasts for a quarter of the price, it's really easy. And then they
How's the
take
shipping on that? Is that pretty expensive?
no, not usually. As long as you go in with a couple people, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
From Zach Games, which is no longer around, rip Zach Games. He made it to Zach Games 6 because he got deleted 5 other times, but then 6 got deleted and he doesn't look like he's coming back. But regardless, if you spent like 20 USD or more, you got free shipping from that guy. So, but now I
Sounds
found a
pretty
new
cool.
website called War Table Games, and I might order like a Tau Tiger Shark, a big plane from them.
Sure.
Yep. Oh,
Sure.
and
Sure.
lastly, I'm almost through the Taros campaign, which I was working on last time we
Yes.
recorded.
Yes.
I've written 32 pages of single space script for that, which is going pretty well, and I'm almost finished. The Imperium's
Pretty
getting
cool.
their butt kicked. The tower, doing pretty good. It's a really cool book, though. I like it a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
So you're gonna do it for your channel, right?
Yeah, and I for Lore Crimes, the podcast, I'm doing an episode on it next week. So yeah,
Cool. It's fun. Very fun.
Mm.
I didn't check out Lore Crimes.
yeah, you should.
Sounds like a fun podcast.
It is. It's goofy. It's fun, but we cover lots of lore, and we do fantasy stuff every once in a while.
Oh, you
Because
do?
Colin likes fantasy, so
Maybe I'll check out the fantasy side of it.
yeah. I've been wanting to get into a fantasy book as well for dark elves or
Okay.
vampires. I need to do
Have
that
you
as
have you
well.
read the Malleus Darkblade books?
That's what I really, really want to because he's a really
I've
cool
heard
character,
they're
and I really like him.
I've heard they're really good. I've heard those are
hmm
some of the better books,
hmm
and I think it's a trilogy too.
Yeah,
I think it's a few
yeah.
books. Yeah, awesome, dude. The only other thing I'll say for hobby question mark is Eli, do you remember the game called
Here's my what you cut out.
Heroes of Might and Magic?
Oh, I know that. Is that is that a flash game or is that a board
Uh,
game?
no, it's a video game.
Okay, yeah.
A video game. They actually made a board game of it, which is not great.
Mm.
I, I,
Let
so,
me look at a picture of this.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3, classic game from my childhood,
hmm
right? Classic video game, loved it, spent a bunch of time on it. I was never good at it because I don't know do what I'm doing, right?
hmm
But they made a tabletop game, which I supported on Kickstarter. It was like huge,
Oh,
hundreds of
interesting.
dollars, so many boxes. Played it
Hmm.
one time, did not love it. It's kind of awkward. Yes.
You can't really see it
Yeah.
on there, but it's there.
Yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea.
hmm
And d- honestly, I might put it in our Discord and see. I put a screenshot of the game, see
hmm
if anybody played it, because I'm sure we have people old enough who have played it
Yep.
when they were younger.
hmm
So anyway, the tabletop game sucks. I'm honestly going to sell it. I think.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Fair.
Maybe somebody, if you've played Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the tabletop game, and you liked it, let me know. Maybe I will keep it. But
Well,
I did not love it, so I think I'm going to sell it.
hmm.
However, recently I downloaded Heroes of Might and Magic 3 on my computer,
Mhm.
and I've been playing. I've been spending so many hours playing. Like
Nice.
one time, I almost stayed up till like morning time playing that video
Oh
game,
man.
just purely go out of nostalgia and
Yep.
spite, like
Yep.
losing because I'm so bad at the game. So anyway,
uh,
I'll keep you updated on that.
I know that feel. I got into Hearts of Iron 4 in the last few
hmm
months, which was a big mistake. And
Is that an old game?
no, it's not super old. I think it's like 2018.
Okay.
Hearts of Iron in general is pretty old, I think, but it's like an Excel spreadsheet World War II game basically.
You
Uh,
would play it.
yeah,
Of course
but
you
it's
would.
really fun. It's really fun. I really, really like it. And when I start playing it, I can't stop for like 10 hours straight. Um,
So,
yeah.
like, it's like you play so long that like your joints start hurting because you've been in the same game for so long. Like that's
uh,
how long I've been playing, the game
yep,
sometimes. It's so stupid.
yep.
Oh geez.
All right, what are we talking
And
about today?
We're talking about how Eli is going to start a World War II podcast.
No,
Uh,
no.
maybe when you're 40, maybe when you're 40.
Yeah.
All right. So last podcast we covered a bunch of the supplements that we recommend that are top supplements for health and the disclaimer, same as always, is if you're ever concerned about supplement use, should you take it, should you not, check with your doctor. Even though, I'm a health professional and Eli is almost there, so we do recommend most of them to people. However, if you ever worry, check with your doctor. Or if you have a health condition, check with your doctor. Or if you have medication you take, check if they interact with that medication.
Mhm.
So last podcast, we covered the big four, we'll say. So we covered protein powders, recommending whey protein is the best one. We covered caffeine, recommending it as a performance booster between 200 to 400 milligrams for most people. We talked about creatine monohydrate, which is the best, most researched supplement for strength and performance. That's legal without side effects.
Mhm.
And vitamin D3 for anybody who doesn't spend an average of an hour a day outside in the sun is very much recommended. And we are talking mostly to gym nerds and Warhammer nerds. The reality is we spend a lot of time inside.
Mhm.
So those are the most important ones, right? Honestly, we could drop the episode right there. If you take those four, you're probably covered. like 98%.
Mhm.
However, there's a few more supplements that both Eli and I take that we both recommend to some of our clients and that may be situationally helpful. And the first one I'm going to bring up is magnesium.
Mhm.
So magnesium is a phenomenal supplement primarily for that helps sleep and stress management, right? A lot of us just don't get enough magnesium from food unless you eat just a very healthy, varied diet with like avocados and dark chocolate and a
Mhm.
variety of fruits and vegetables consistently and like nuts and seeds.
If you're a
You're just not
millionaire in
getting
Canada, basically. You-
right, exactly. So you're probably not doing it unless you're extremely health conscious and like health varied, and also budget wise, it can be expensive. So most of us don't get enough magnesium from food,
Mhm.
and magnesium is a vital nutrient specifically for brain function and rest. So if you're deficient in it even slightly, you're probably not going to be getting optimal sleep.
Mhm.
Do you take magnesium, Eli?
Oh yeah, every night, every night.
Yeah. So I which is great, right? What's the dose you take? What amount?
I actually don't know. I
Okay.
I take the serving size on the Costco thing that I get every time, and
Sure.
I have not committed it to memory how much it is, but it's enough.
Sure. You probably checked it once and you just take it to be
Yeah,
consistent. Yeah.
it. I do feel tired in the morning sometimes though, which I know is what a problem that you said that you had, that you sleep a lot when you take it.
So I naturally do sleep really well if I don't have to wake up early, right? So if I don't have
Mm,
to if I go to bed at 11 and I don't have to wake up till 8, I'll sleep literally till 8, right?
mm,
Because I mean, I can sleep very well with no issues. I did notice that when I take it, I do sleep longer, or when I wake
mm,
up, I'll wake up tired. So definitely individual use. I take it when I've been stressed. So I take it like more acutely when I think I may be deficient. Maybe my diet hasn't been the best. Maybe I've been in calorie deficit for a while, just getting any nutrients. Or maybe my sleep and stress haven't been the best for other reasons. And then I will take it. A lot of people who struggle with sleep, though, I don't struggle with sleep when I get good sleep.
mm.
But if you do struggle with getting good sleep and good quality sleep, really do highly recommend magnesium. I recommend glycinate if you can. It is the highest bioavailability. Citrate is fine. Uh, Avoid oxide at all costs.
Mm.
Magnesium oxide is not very well digested. It
Mm.
is pull water in your system.
Uh,
Uh, it, Magnesium oxide is, we call it milk of magnesia. In a hospital setting, we give it to people who have constipation.
ah. Mm,
So if you have constipation, you want to go to the bathroom, take magnesium oxide.
mm,
Otherwise, you're not going to absorb much of it. You're going to get pull fluid in your gut, and you're going to have loose bowels.
mm. I see.
Yeah. Um, that's about it. I mean, that's about it for magnesium. If you are not sure if you should take it or not, you can always experiment with it for like a week or two. Take it daily. If you notice improvements in your sleep, keep taking it. If
Hmm.
not, stop taking
Yep. I've also heard it's good for joints and bone health, and I've also seen a lot of stuff saying that it's important for women to take, and it's good for period health and stuff.
it. I'm not as familiar with that. It would make sense. But yeah, primarily familiar with the stress and sleep. But yeah,
Mm.
I'm sure it's really helped other areas as well. And it is uh, top four nutrient, no, vitamin and mineral deficiencies in the
Mm.
States. Uh, yes, or mineral, top four mineral
Yeah.
deficiencies.
Yeah.
We have iron, D, no, iron, magnesium, zinc, and something else.
Okay.
Anyway,
Sure.
so a lot of people are deficient in it. All right, next one is ashwagandha, and I
Mm-hmm.
know you take it very regularly as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you speak on it and why do you take it?
Yeah. It's primarily another stress reliever. It just
Mhm.
makes you kind of more chill, and it also, in theory, raises your testosterone. Um, don't know how much or how little. It probably very much varies per person. But yeah, it can be a sleep aid and a stress aid, and it can, in theory, like I said, raise your testosterone. And I do think it's good. I think it's very good. When I take it, I do feel just I do feel higher test when I take it. Um, I usually take it twice a day, so one in the morning, one in the evening. And you could do like 300 to 600 milligrams a day. Um, I think it's just generally pretty good. If you take too much, it'll kind of mess you up, and make you
Right.
very
You have to
sad
experience one.
and depressed. Which I did by accident take double my dose for like a week, and then I felt very lethargic and depressed, and nothing. But then I stopped taking it, and like a day after, I started feeling normal again. It affect. I don't know if it's the same for everyone else, but it affects me very quickly. I feel the effects the same day that I take it, and I feel the withdrawals the same day that I don't take it. So it's pretty interesting. I do think it's good though. I think it's worthwhile, and it's not too expensive either.
No. Nothing we're going to mention is a very expensive supplement.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think everything so far you can definitely get a month's supply for $25 or less.
Yeah,
Which is probably a good idea not to get every single supplement for that reason,
yeah.
because it'll cost you a lot, but pick and choose the ones you actually think will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the main path, no, ashwagandha is great. I take it semi-regularly, right? And like you said, there is an acute benefit. So you take it occasionally. There's definitely a benefit in taking it daily as well. The main thing it does, like you said, is just lower stress. So
Mm-hmm.
lowers cortisol. But for everything we discussed, the correct dosage is super, super important,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Eli mentioned that, he took too much. Well, now his cortisol tanked, so he has no desire to do anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just stay home and play video games.
Yeah.
So totally makes sense. With anything, don't take too much. Some of them have much more room for error, and some of them don't, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why, check for yourself, check with your doctor. We do give you recommendations. Ashwagandha typically between 500 to 1,000 is a good dose.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do benefit from more, upwards of 2,000 milligrams a day.
Dang.
But that depends on your person and your stress level, right?
Hmm.
So with any supplement, I recommend starting low and increasing it, right?
Yeah.
So start at 500, doesn't work for you, do it for a week, didn't seem to notice any changes. Go to 1,000, doesn't work for you, go to 1,500.
Hmm.
One thing I will tell with ashwagandha, and I've noticed this consistently with a number of my clients and friends who I recommended it to, is because it does help you get, I wouldn't say it helps you sleep more, but it gets you, because it lowers cortisol, it gets you in a deeper sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I've consistently got feedback that people start dreaming again
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when they take ashwagandha consistently.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Huh.
And
Nice.
one thing I will say is if you struggle with nightmares, because you will dream more, you will have more
Mm.
nightmares.
Oh,
I had a few
nice.
people tell me, like, hey, I've been taking it. I sleep very good, but I'm having nightmares, bro. I don't know what's happening. It's
Huh.
it's not good.
Dang.
So,
Dang. I only take 600 milligrams a day. When I was taking the double doses, it was 1,200 a day, and that's like just freaking
too
destroyed
much
me.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much for you. Yeah, I mean, I have clients who take like 1,900, 2,000, and it works really
Dang.
well for them. So
Dang.
once again, the dosage really depends on the person. This is not like a vitamin or mineral, which everybody we kind of have a recommended dose for most people, for an
Mm-hmm.
average of most people. This is something external that your body does not produce. So there's going to be different responses between different people.
Yeah, and I have heard more than once that you should cycle it. I've never felt the need to, but some people say that
So
you should take. People say that you should cycle it, like you should take breaks
yeah, I
from
have
it.
heard.
Um, I've never felt like I needed to, but I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, people have. I've heard it before that your body adapts to it, and I think there is some data to show that in case you basically adapt to it, and then you don't get as many benefit from it.
Mm,
I honestly haven't looked into literature for that, so I can't say. It's
mm,
probably not going to harm you to cycle it, but it's probably going to be fine to just keep taking it consistently.
yeah.
Also, I have a theory why your testosterone improves on
Mm,
it.
mm,
I think it's because you get better sleep.
yeah.
That's why
Yep.
testosterone improves. I doubt it does anything to like your estrogen, testosterone, androgen receptor pathways.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like, hey, lower cortisol, lower inflammation, better sleep. Now everything's able to function better.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's my
believe
theory.
it.
Yeah.
I can
I haven't
believe it.
looked into data. Okay, next is something I believe we both take. I know I do, is omega 3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take omega 3s?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So that's something we both take. Actually, you take mine. I didn't take mine
Yeah.
yet today. But, how about you? You mentioned why you take them, and I'll fill in the gaps if there's a.
I mean, it's just really good for you. It's like it's another one of those things where if you're only buying one thing from today's episode, I'd say omega threes is probably the thing to get. Uh, it's just good for your brain and your joints and your like everything.
Yeah,
Pretty sure it's good for your eyes even. Like, yeah.
yeah. Omega 3s are awesome. You don't have to get them. Once again, this is a lot of those, right?
Mm,
But technically, You don't have to get it if you eat a lot of fatty fish.
Hmm.
Anything else you might get omega-3s from, you're probably not going to eat enough. Like I think flax seeds and I think
Hmm.
walnuts maybe
Yeah.
have them, but you're not going to eat enough. And if you do, you're getting so many calories and it's probably
Yeah.
detrimental. But fatty fish, so salmon, mahi-mahi, other fatty fish, if you eat it, a good serving of it twice or three times a week, you don't need it. So if you are once again one of a person who is health conscious, who has a very balanced diet, get a variety of protein sources, including fatty fish, you're probably fine.
Hmm.
However, absolutely, if you're a normal person who maybe doesn't like fatty fish, or who maybe doesn't can afford fatty fish, or doesn't want to cook fatty fish twice, three times a week, it is very helpful to get a supplement. It lowers inflammation. It is good for your joint health. It is good for your heart health, brain health. It's
Hmm.
just good. Like Eli said, it's just altogether a healthy supplement to take.
Hmm.
Uh, One thing I will say is because a lot of people think of omega-3s as fish oil, it doesn't have to be fish oil. It can be found in vegan options. So if you are vegan, you do have an option to get it,
Hmm.
right? You just have to look up vegan omega-3s and you'll be able to just get it just fine.
Hmm.
As far as the dosage, do you know what dosage you take for that?
No,
Okay, it's okay.
no, just the regular like serving size dose. Yeah.
Most good quality omega-3s will be effective dose. What you're looking for is at least 500 milligrams of both EPA and DHA.
Mm.
There is three types of omega-3 fatty acid: EPA, DHA, and I believe AHA, but I might be wrong. But EPA and DHA are the only ones that are actually effective, right? Or
Mm.
more effective. So
Mm.
you want to take 500 milligrams total EPA and DHA or more. There's going to be supplements that have 800 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams. Very, very good. If you are somehow an older person listening to this podcast who is on blood thinners, check with your doctors before taking it. That is
Interesting.
the only medication I'm aware of that,
Hmm.
because I think it either counteracts it or it makes it react like more effective.
Hmm.
So you'll be even more blood. I think it's actually is more blood thinning.
Interesting.
Yes. One thing I will say, go back to ashwagandha as well, because there's a solid chance somebody may be on it. If you are on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication, check with your doctor before taking ashwagandha.
Mm.
I've had multiple times where I recommend it to a client. I'd recommend to check with them, and their doctor would say like, "Hey, let's not take it for until you're off of this medication."
Mm. Makes
So
sense.
keep that in mind. It may interact with some anxiety and depression medication
Hmm.
for ashwagandha, omega-3s, blood thinners. You are probably not a blood thinner, so you're probably fine.
No.
All right, so let's talk about the one that you are a fan of is BCAAs and EAAs.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So why do you take them, and who would you recommend them
Yeah. Well, I take EAAs, not BCAAs.
for? Okay.
But yeah, they're two different things for the audience. One is branch chain amino acids. The other is essential amino acids. The difference is your body can make branch chain amino acids from any of the amino acids that you consume. So your body can just produce them by itself, essentially, as long as you're eating food. Um, and amino acids are the building blocks for your muscles, for your body in general. You need them to, kind of exist and be structured and have muscle in general. So, like I said, BCAAs, your body can just kind of produce in its little factory. Essential amino acids are amino acids that your body cannot produce, and they are also quite important. These are things you can only get from consuming them from your diet, from outside sources. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is there 8 essential and 12 others? It's
I think
it's a
there's
it's something
it's
like
9 and
that.
11.
Okay,
9 and 11.
it's yeah,
It
it's
might be 12 too. I think it's 9 or 11.
it's around those numbers. You can check. It's kind of arbitrary, I guess, but
It doesn't
yeah.
matter.
So a lot of these essential amino acids, but not all. Some of them you can get from meat, especially red meat, just other protein sources. But some of them are hard to kind of come by and to get through. So I think taking essential amino acids is not a bad idea, especially if you're a vegan and especially if you're
Yeah.
in a caloric deficit, because in
Yeah.
both situations it's going to be harder for you to get the amount of protein that your body needs and therefore the amount of amino acids that your body needs, and these are pretty important. This is also why what's the skin one? Oh my gosh, I just had it.
Collagen?
Yeah, this is also why collagen products are bogus. Because
Yeah, they suck. They
but
suck.
collagen is a BCAA, which means your body can just make it, and it's the most abundant in your body because it's what your skin
You
is
don't
made
need it.
out of.
You
So
don't need
yeah,
it.
it makes no sense. If you're somehow deficient, then yeah, I guess you can take product, but it still doesn't really make any sense. And along with that, rubbing it on your face is just ludicrous, and there's absolutely no way that that does anything. So these
Sure.
collagen infused beauty products are just a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of work on that.
essential amino acids I think are just good to have. It's a kind of expensive, I guess, so it's not like a necessity, but it kind of covers everything that you would need if you're not getting it from your diet, and anything that you're not getting that you don't know of, it'll cover that. And it's also just nice to mix with your creatine and just to drink it during your workout. And I mean,
Sure.
maybe you're shuttling these proteins into your body as you're working out. Who knows? Doesn't really matter.
And show
Uh,
like 0.5% benefit maybe. Yeah.
yeah, like it's a nice intro workout thing to do. But yeah, branched chain amino acids I don't think are worth purchasing, other than as a tasty drink to drink while you're working out. It's not like
Sure.
they're not useless, but it's like you don't really need them, and your body can make all of them anyways. So essentially,
Yeah.
amino acids though are important to have in your diet and just in general. So if you're deficient in any of them, you should probably take the supplement, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we 100% agree on brain chain. I think they're useless. Like literally, don't take them. I will say I think I am a bit more harsh towards EAAs,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I think as long as you get enough protein from high quality sources, with just like animal proteins outside of collagen, like
Mm-hmm.
literally any animal protein is going to get you all the EAAs you need.
Mm-hmm.
However, so like no, an argument could be made like, hey, well, if somebody's deficient in protein intake, they would benefit from EAAs. Like, yeah, 100%, but they would benefit more from just getting their protein
Mm-hmm.
up and getting good
Yeah,
quality protein.
yeah.
In which case, I don't think you need EAAs.
Mm-hmm.
But I do 100% agree. Three things. Number one, if you're vegan, take it because you're not getting enough essential amino acids, protein sources, most likely. If you are in a calorie deficit, it's a probably a good idea, right? Calorie deficit, your body is probably utilizing some of the proteins you're eating, right? So maybe it's not absorbing as much for retaining muscle and maybe even building muscle if you're trying to build muscle in a deficit. And then lastly, they're not crazy expensive and it's a good
Mm-hmm.
insurance policy. So why wouldn't you take them? I think that's fine. I would say if you are at maintenance or bulking, you probably don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in deficit, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and a lot of protein powders will have most, if not all, of the EAAs in them.
Right,
Generally,
right,
you can look at
right.
the label
Yes.
and see what it says. But yeah,
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's another point that's actually, I'm very glad you mentioned it. Like if you're already taking a protein powder, you're probably
yeah.
yeah. Cool. I think those are all the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few smaller ones we can chat that maybe are helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I would say we covered all the big hitters.
Yeah, I think
If we
so
missed
too.
anything, yeah. If we missed anything, let us know in the comments. What do you like us to talk about? I'll be more than happy to do a supplement part three to
Mm-hmm.
maybe mention some of the more obscure supplements or do
Mm-hmm.
some research and stuff aware of. But here are some other supplements that both Eli and I take, or are at least familiar with, that we'll mention. But those ones are truly like, hey, if you really want to go the extra mile, hey, if you really like, you optimizing your nutrition, your sleep, your workouts, and you just have some extra cash to spend on stuff, sure, throw in some
Mm-hmm.
money at those supplements.
Mm-hmm.
So the first I'm going to mention, and that's something I take almost every day, I would say 5, 6 days out of the week, is L-theanine. To prove it, I'm going to take it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what L-theanine is, it's you probably heard of it as a compound found in tea and coffee, primarily tea. And a lot of tea supplements will market themselves like, oh, a good source of L-theanine, and which is fair. So L-theanine is a great plant-based compound that is helpful for the way to describe it is feeling of wakeful relaxation. So basically, it calms you down without making you sleepy, which is a lot of those calming supplements are not the best for. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I would not recommend taking ashwagandha,
What'd you say?
right?
You cut out there.
I would, sorry, I would not recommend taking ashwagandha or magnesium at
Just at the
right
same time. Is that what you said? Don't take them at the
at the
same
start of
time. Oh, at the start
at
of
the
the
start of
day.
your day. Yes.
Okay.
Man, I'm cutting out bad.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can close some things because you will be more tired for the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to do that. However, you can absolutely take L-theanine at the beginning of your day. It's gonna relax you, calm you if you're stressed or anxious, but it's not gonna make you sleepy.
Mm.
And what I actually recommend, and actually helps with focus, what I recommend doing is taking L-theanine with caffeine.
Hmm.
Have you heard
Makes
of
sense.
L-theanine before?
Yep, it's in a lot of pre-workouts. Um, just yeah,
Exactly.
general. I know
So
that it does make you kind of chill, which is nice.
right. So it's exactly in there for that reason, because a lot of them will be very high caffeine. So you're getting 200, 300, 400 milligrams of caffeine. You don't want to just, all jacked up and like anxious and shaking the whole time.
Mm.
So it takes the edge off of it. I've actually seen it being described the best way is when combining with caffeine. Caffeine often acts like this,
Yeah.
right? So here's your energy before you take caffeine. You take it, you get a big high, and then you go back to the same point, right?
Yeah.
What L-theanine does, it doesn't take you quite as high, but it makes the caffeine
Uh,
last long.
yeah.
And that's been my experience with L-theanine as well.
Hmm. Nice.
Yeah, effective dose is between 100 to 200 milligrams of L-theanine. People have made ratios before, like you take 200 milligrams of L-theanine for every 100 milligrams of caffeine, I think, or
Hmm.
200 milligrams of caffeine, which is fine.
Yep.
But I think just take 200 milligrams a day with a caffeine source, and you'll benefit pretty greatly from
Hmm. Uh,
it. Okay,
Random thing. Have you heard of
yeah.
the baking soda pre-workout stuff before?
No,
No.
what?
Uh, I don't even. If you take like a ludicrous amount of baking soda, it's like gross and horrible. I tried it once years ago. It apparently gives you like an insane pump. It's either baking soda or baking powder. I don't remember which one.
Dang.
But apparently it gives you a crazy pump. But you have to take like a freaking like a cup of it to make. It's just terrible. So I
Do you
don't.
have a good pump?
Yeah, to have like a crazy pump apparently. Uh,
Huh? Did you have a crazy pump
I
when
don't
you took it?
remember. I think it was. All I remember was it was nasty. So yeah.
I don't know if it's
Oh
worth it, man.
gosh. Yeah.
I wonder what is baking soda made of? I actually don't even know.
I don't remember. I don't remember. But if you know about this, let us know in the comments. It's kind
I
of
want to try.
funny.
I'm not sure if it's safe. Please check if it's safe before trying it.
Yeah.
Talking about pumps, though, so the next few supplements I'm going to mention are mostly for performance slash pump at the gym.
Mm,
So the big one is beta-alanine,
mm.
right? The ants under the skin sort of feeling, right? So beta-alanine, it does delay the onset of fatigue with exercises over 1 minute, over 60 seconds. Then that's what we see in research, right? So basically, if you're training in 2 to 4 rep range, you probably are not going to benefit from it a lot.
Mm.
So if you're powerlifting, probably not going to benefit from it a lot. But if you're doing any kind of cardio for performance, if you're doing any kind of higher reps, 20 plus, even upwards of 30 reps, sets take you longer than a minute, supersets, drop sets, myo sets, things of that nature, I think it is beneficial. The one thing I have seen with beta-alanine is you have to load it for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think it's like 3 to 6 month load before it's actually effective,
Yeah.
which I've honestly not looked into that, but I've
Mm.
just heard that it's a very long loading phase. So if you take it, you got to take it for a long time for it to be effective. But I will say that the feeling of paresthesia you get, which is the term for the
Mm.
ants under the skin, if you get it in the right area, and I get it in my arms and my chest, I freaking love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like my muscle is on fire.
Mm.
You know, have you taken Bell Allen before? Where do
I've
you
I've had it in pre-workouts before. Yeah. I think it's fine. I don't really mind it. It makes my face itchy sometimes, but
your face? Right, so that
yeah.
sucks, right? I would hate my
Yeah.
face to be itchy.
It's not
Some
that bad
people,
though. Yeah.
I've heard some people get it in their butt,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in the
It's
butt,
yep.
which is awful. I would hate that. Like,
uh,
ugh.
yep.
But yeah, no, beta-alanine, I think even just mentally, you feel like it's working in your muscles can be
Yeah.
helpful. And if it goes, and it depends on the person, but if you feel the tingles, like me, in the
Mhm.
good areas like chest and arms, freaking awesome. And it
Yeah.
does have some beneficial effect when you load it for a long time. I did go for a time where I took it for a year. So
Mm.
at that point, it is effective, right?
Mhm.
But you have to take it pretty consistently. So yeah.
Mm.
It's really up to you. It's pretty cheap supplements, but you have to buy a big gulp thing of it for
Yeah.
it to be
Yeah.
effective. Take for a long time. Okay, next one is L-citrulline.
Mhm.
So L-citrulline increases nitric oxide, which improves blood flow to the muscle. which primarily will just help you improve the pump and vascularity. So any of the pump pre-workouts will typically have a good dose of L-citrulline in there. Nothing to say about it. It's pretty good. Oh, for L-citrulline, 4 to 10 grams is great. So it's a very high dose. Keep that in mind. I used to actually still use a tub of it before workouts,
Mm-hmm.
and like it would be a pain to get like two big old scoops
Yeah.
in my mouth beforehand. For beta-alanine, 3 to 6 grams is effective. Um, but yeah, I mean, do you have any comments on L-citrulline?
It's just good. It's just plain
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah.
It's if you want
So
a good pre-workout, make sure it has it, and in a good
yep,
dose
make
as
sure it has
well.
L-citrulline. And a
And
lot of
it has malate is different than regular L-citrulline. So.
yes, yes. So citrulline malate, it will have to have a ratio, and basically you just need to, let's say if it's 1-to-1 ratio, citrulline malate, and it has 6 grams of it, you're only getting 3 grams of citrulline,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not bad, but it's just more diluted. So
Yeah.
make sure you're getting a higher dose.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pre-workouts, a lot of energy drinks will have them,
Mm-hmm.
but just make sure it's an effective dose. In the same way it's creatine, right? You could
Mm-hmm.
sprinkle half a gram of creatine, but it's not going to be it's actually
Yeah.
effective at all.
Yeah.
So make sure if you are taking L-citrulline, check the dose, minimum 4 grams to be effective, upwards of 10 grams.
Mm-hmm.
Right, another supplement helpful for a pump is betaine anhydrous. And the same thing, increases nitric oxide, improves the pump. It does have has some other pathways to not only improve the pump but also improve performance.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen performance improvements for cardiovascular and strength training activity. So that's pretty cool. The effective dose is about 2.5 grams. Once again, before the workout. A lot of the pre-workouts you will see it as well. Is that something you take as well in your pre-workouts?
Uh, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the label. It's not one that I pay that much attention to be honest. But
Yeah, and those are kind of the smaller ones,
yeah.
right? You could technically take them separately, and I have them in
Mm-hmm.
there. One thing I will say about betaine and hydrous at least is it smells and tastes like piss.
Yeah.
Horrible, like literal urine.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if I tasted urine ever, but smell of it is exactly like urine.
Yeah.
So if
Nasty.
you mix it with your shaker and you put some flavoring in there, it's fine. You don't miss it. But by itself, like you smell it, you open it, it's
Mm, gross.
horrible.
Gross.
Very, very bad. So take it. I would recommend taking it in capsules
Mm-hmm.
or mixing it in your drink with like some strong flavoring. Boy, sometimes I would forget to put a flavor powder
Oh,
and I would drink it.
nasty.
I literally would gag. I would like close my
Jeez.
nose, chug it,
Oh
and then like
man.
chug an energy drink right afterwards because
Gross.
it was
Gross.
so disgusting. Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a couple more is taurine. Now, taurine, I think Red Bull was the first one to put taurine, and that's why they have the bull on it. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
because taurine, I think, comes from some ingredient in a bull, or at least originally used to come.
Weird. Okay.
Could be an urban legend. That could be something that I've heard in middle school
Mm-hmm.
and just stuck in my mind, but
Mm-hmm.
double check me on that. Taurine is pretty cool. A lot of people seem to not like taurine for some reason. It seems to be pretty safe and it is pretty effective,
Mm-hmm.
once again, for both cardiovascular and strength performance. And we have a pretty good amount of research on it. The best thing I like about taurine is because it seems like even a relatively small dose, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we chatted about that in the
Mm-hmm.
past, where even a half a gram of taurine seems to have some benefit on performance.
Mm-hmm.
So taurine is great. You can take a higher dose than that. You can grams, excuse me, 3 grams a day and be fine before your workouts. And a lot of the energy drinks will have taurine in there as well. And most likely they have at least a half a gram, hopefully. So it's usually going to be an effective
Mm-hmm.
dose.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yep. So far, a lot of those things are good for pre-workout. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
last thing I will mention is L-carnitine. Now, L-carnitine is something they are going to throw in your pre-workout as well. It is conditionally effective, which means that if you don't get enough protein in your diet, or if you don't eat a lot of animal proteins, it can be effective.
Hmm.
But I literally once I did a math on like, hey, how much L-carnitine is in animal proteins? How much do you need for performance? And like literally, you eat a couple eggs and a chicken breast, and you're fine,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So you really don't need it as long as you get into your protein goal. But if you somehow don't take enough protein for the day, which you should, to just eat more protein, or if you're a vegan, I'd recommend it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Other than that, it's not necessary.
I've is this what I've heard? I feel like I've heard of injectable L-carnitine before. Am I crazy?
Sure. I'm not sure.
Is that something else? Maybe that's something else that I'm thinking of. But I feel like I've heard of injectable L-carnitine for weight loss, for
Oh,
fat
okay.
burning. I think that's
Not
a thing.
familiar.
Yeah,
So
not really our
L-carnitine,
realm, but
so that's actually that might be the case because what L-carnitine does, it helps preserve muscle mass. It also, sorry, no, it helps, well, it does preserve muscle mass, but it preserves muscle glycogen
hmm.
and it spares amino acid use for energy.
Ah,
So it encourages the use of fats and not carbs and protein
hmm.
for energy, which means you're going to preserve the glycogen in your muscles, which is gym, and preserve the amino acid for repair muscle tissue or maintenance of muscle tissue. So I think it's really helpful. If you want to take it during a deficit, especially, it's not a bad idea.
Hmm.
But most likely, if you eat enough protein, you have more than enough, like, truly more than enough of it.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be interested to see if there's a mega dose, like a mega dose of L-carnitine could be helpful.
Yeah, I think that's the injectable idea. I mean that
Yeah.
it absorbs much better when you inject it.
Yeah.
It's like a natty
Maybe there's
injectable thing,
okay.
I
I
guess.
would be interested to see if there's some kind of a mega dose, like I don't know, 50, 100 grams or something
Hmm.
that's helpful.
Hmm.
But typically, if you are vegan or if you don't need enough protein, 2 to 4 grams is all you need.
Hmm.
But you can get those numbers super easily
Yeah.
through diet if
Yeah.
you're eating enough protein.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Those are really the biggest ones for performance. Do you remember any other pre-workout ingredients that I think that's
No, I'd have to look at our list again, but I think we went over them pretty much.
right,
Yeah, but
right.
if
Those
you
are
want a
those
good
are most
if you want a good pre-workout, find one with all those ingredients. There may be one coming up in the next year that has all those ingredients. We'll see.
there may be. Wink,
But
wink.
another supplement I like is zinc. Zinc's just good for
Oh
you,
yeah, 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 yeah.
good for your immune system as well. So yeah,
Yes.
well, I like it. Nothing really
No, zinc
fancy
is
to
great.
say, but it's good for you.
Glad you mentioned that because that is the number four
Hmm.
mineral that
Hmm.
a lot of people are deficient in.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good for your immune system, really good for healing. I don't remember the dose you need for it, but zinc is great, especially if you're sick season, flu
Hmm.
season. Zinc is awesome,
Yeah.
and you're probably not getting enough from food because it's like found in like random fish,
Yeah.
seafood. It's
Yeah.
super hard to get for
Yeah.
food.
Well, my
So
paramedic buddy was talking about like if you have to take it in certain ways, but theoretically it is the only thing that will like it goes into your cells and kills bad stuff. Basically, that's extremely layman's terms, but it whenever I have a bad cough, he tells me you should take more zinc, and then yeah,
yeah,
all right.
no, zinc is great. Anytime you think you're getting sick, anytime you are sick, if you are just in the sick season in general, have sick people in your household, family,
Mm-hmm.
friends, take zinc,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, I think it's phenomenal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it's a great one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so one more thing I will mention, or I guess two more things.
Mm-hmm.
One more is if you are in a context of a poor diet, like you just can't afford to get anything besides chicken and rice, or if you're in a pretty significant calorie deficit, I would recommend a high quality, high bioavailability multivitamin.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't think everybody should be taking a multivitamin, especially if you're eating healthy, especially if you're eating a varied diet, because you're probably not going to get enough of the nutrients you actually need, like vitamin D.
Mm.
Um, but if you're on a calorie deficit, uh, a significant calorie deficit, or if your diet is just generally not very good, like a lot of college students,
Yeah.
maybe getting a high bioavailability multivitamin is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take a multi?
I used to, and then I ran out, and I haven't really gotten it again. Especially
Yeah.
because I was bulking for so long, I just didn't really worry about it. But now that we're cutting again, I might get it when we're getting to pretty low calories. I might get back into it. It's cheap, to be
Yeah,
fair. You can buy a whole year's supply at Costco for like $60 or whatever, so it's not too expensive. I
yeah.
just like,
I would recommend if you can afford it, buying a higher bioavailability one.
mm,
Because if you ever look at those ingredients, some of the vitamins and minerals they put in there are just
yeah,
like
it's
magnesium
quite
oxide,
low.
just not gonna absorb much of it, right?
Mm,
Uh, so yeah, just like Thorn is a good brand for high
mm,
bioavailability. If you're looking for a high bioavailability one, there's other ones as well.
cool.
Okay, last one I'm gonna mention is the one I actually started taking recently, and I would not recommend taking it until.
Until
But
when?
there is some more recent research showing that saffron can be an incredible supplement for improving mood and helping alleviate symptoms of depression.
Mm,
So I'm not saying I'm depressed. I get low moods, but I've been taking it for about a week now, and I'll keep mentioning my progress on it and see if I notice a reasonable change in mood. Um, and it could be at this point only a placebo effect
mm,
because it's only been a week. But I feel like my mood has been consistently better.
mm,
My desire to do things has been better. My energy has been better. My motivation in life has been better. Not anything crazy, but just marginally, right?
mm,
Just excited to do things a bit more throughout the day.
mm,
And ever since taking it, I haven't had a low day yet. So for about a week, I haven't had a low day, which I would say on average maybe one.
mm.
Uh, so
Cool.
placebo effect, actually effective? Don't know. But we have research that shows that it can be as effective as a low to mild dose antidepressant and anxiety
Wow.
medication.
Cool.
So we'll see. I'll keep telling you about it. See if there's any kind of benefits or results from it.
Yeah. Very interesting. I might have to check it out too.
Yeah, look into that.
Yeah.
Even if you don't struggle with any negatives, it probably doesn't have a lot of negatives by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
But that's something I would check with your doctor first before taking.
Fair. Fair.
Awesome.
Another one I guess we could talk about. One more thing again, is nicotine. I don't personally use it, but
Okay. Yeah.
I would like to try it. But nicotine gum's really expensive, and I do not want to take Zins or any of that. And I don't want to vape or anything like that because that's all bad for you. Um, but nicotine itself, while it's hard to find in forms that is like not detrimental to your health,
Yeah.
I think the healthiest way you could have it is by like pouches and stuff, but then your gums will still recede. Um, but nicotine by itself, like not in a cigarette, not in a vape, not in all the other stuff, is like one of probably, from what I can tell, one of the best um, mental supplements you can take, just for productivity and mental clarity and creativity and stuff. From what I've heard, it's very very good for that. Something that, like, if you're a business owner, you do a lot of work from home, it can theoretically, nicotine and caffeine put together can really increase your productivity, and your thought process, just overall mental stuff. So I will eventually get my hands on some nicotine gum, and I'll try it out with some caffeine, and I'll have to let you all know how it goes. It is also addictive, so you do also have to be careful with that. So
Yep.
there's downsides to it. If you can find it in a healthier form, though, it's supposedly very good for your brain productivity. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Get Good. Get Good is a big fan of nicotine.
Ah,
His formula for Warhammer events is he takes
yeah, that
caffeine
makes
and
sense.
nicotine
Yep.
for his games. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
One
Get
more
Good.
thing. One more thing.
Oh my
Maybe two
goodness.
more.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yohimbine is
Oh, I'm not familiar.
crazy supplements. It's not good for you. You probably shouldn't take it. It's illegal in Canada. Um,
Okay, maybe
but
don't take it then.
yeah, but there's Psychopharma has this pre workout with Yohimbine and 400 milligrams of caffeine in it, and there's not a feeling like it
I'll
when
look into your Himbine. That's interesting.
When I've had it in pre workout. It's like it's hard to match. It really, like, it gets your
Right.
intensity and your aggressiveness and your like the mindset. It really brings out the mindset. So I recommend
It's
that.
probably legal in the States, so I might do some research
Yeah,
on it and
yeah,
see
yeah.
if it's as effective as
Psychopharma
people.
Edge of Insanity pre workout. If you're crazy and you're advanced at lifting, I would try it out personally. It's not very good for you. Uh,
To be fair, 400 milligrams is also like
it's a lot.
it's
It's a lot.
if you take that, Okay, I'm interested to see. Yeah, I want to look into
Mhm.
your Himbine. To go
And
back to nicotine, though, yes. So I think it is honestly hated on for no good reason.
mm,
Besides, it is addictive, right? So if you, you know, are tight for money and you don't want to be addicted to it, it's probably a good idea to limit it. I will say is people's responses are different, right? So if it doesn't work for you, stop taking it and start with a low dose,
mhm.
right? Start with a lower dose than you think, because I think Zins are typically 3 milligrams. I believe they don't have any higher than that, at
Mhm.
least for Zins, at least not in the States. And start with a low dose. Maybe even start with 3 milligrams and just leave it in there for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then
Mm.
take it out. Uh, Nicotine sickness is it's a really
Yeah,
horrible feeling. It sucks,
I bet.
right? So if you take that 6 milligrams in, you keep it there for 2 minutes, you get sick for the next half an hour, you're not getting any,
Yeah.
right? So start small and then increase from there.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you know? Are there any more? Do they have like pills, or is it just gum or pouches? Is that pretty much the only options you have?
Sure, they
Uh,
have options, right? I mean, there must be.
so I've
The
only
only
ever
thing
heard
I
of gum in
know,
pouches.
they have patches,
I
so
guess
you can
yeah,
take a patch.
patches as well. I don't know how. I don't know what how
It's
good
good
those
for
are
your
for
skin.
you, but
I have no
uh,
idea. I actually don't know how they work, but somehow they get into
hmm.
absorbing the skin. And yeah, I
Oh
mean, you absorb it through the gum, right?
yeah,
So it's probably not too
yeah.
much different.
Just gum. Nicotine gum itself seems to be the healthiest way to have
Honestly,
it.
gum is
I
probably the
imagine.
best
Yeah,
because it's kind of gross to take a pouch out and then put it back.
and
But
that's
it's
also
not
just
that
bad
gross
for your
to take it.
gums.
Right. But it's not that bad to like take gum out. Like let's say you are starting to feel it, like okay, and just slow down, take it out, put it back in. I think gum is probably the best option on it.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Good.
I think I'm
And
satisfied.
now I want to look more because I don't take nicotine either. I mean, I have a car, but I really don't take them that often.
Hmm.
Uh, so nicotine and yohimbine, I'm interested in looking more into both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
All
Good.
right.
Anything else?
I don't think so. My one of the supplements that I have, because it's on sale, is like an essential amino acid thing that also has caffeine and lion's mane mushroom, and people swear by lion's mane mushroom. When I take this stuff, it definitely increases my like cognitive ability. I drink it while I
Yeah.
play Axis and Allies, but I don't. I've never noticed anything crazy from it.
Yeah, so lion's mane, cordyceps, a lot of mushrooms, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
call them adaptogens. They help you like manage stress and adapt to your environment better. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I looked into it a little bit, but not enough to give you a substantial
Yeah,
recommendation.
yeah,
But they're usually not harmful and they're usually beneficial. Once again, the dosage is key. So making sure you take an effective dose of it, which I don't know what it is,
yeah,
but look into it.
yeah. All right,
Good.
good.
All right, I think that's good enough for the supplements. We covered like so many supplements this
Mm-hmm.
episode.
That was
So
good.
once again, a reminder to be wise. We don't take all of them at the same time. You probably don't need to take all of them at the same time unless, but pick and choose the ones you want. Check out episode before this one because we talk about the ones you probably should be taking at all times.
2 episodes
And then
before this
these
one.
ones,
I guess.
right, episode before this one. Or choose some from this episode that you think are most beneficial for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ready to start your health and fitness journey, go to grimdarkgains.com for an 8-week Nerds Complete Guide to Nutrition and Fitness. You can find Eli at Deadlifts for the Dark Gods and myself at fit_hammer on Instagram and YouTube. You can find a link to Grimdark Gains Discord on our Instagram at GrimdarkGains or our personal Instagram accounts. Thank you, and until next time, stay Warhammer strong.
Farewell. Love you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.